Carson Schwesinger, you mentioned Defensive Rookie of the Year, responsible for the communication of the Browns defense, the green dot guy, if you will. Talked about how he reacts in certain situations to knowing what is coming as a defense.
I think there's a fine line with some things. Obviously, like you know certain things are coming. You give your end a check, right, to make him have eyes on something, just to know he's getting a crack or things like that. And some things where you need other guys to we're all working together. So if you can help somebody else out, get them in the right spot, because everybody's looking at different things. And then there's some cases where it's like, yeah, you don't want them to know the play, so we're not going to be out there. They make a check, we're not going to be out there yelling what their check is, especially if it's something we talked about before. Just being able to be ready for it, and then not over anticipate. Sometimes you get out of position, so just knowing the play, but still keeping yourself honest, I think is a big thing too.
Kind of interesting. You saw the physical thing. That gives you a little bit of the football IQ.
Yeah, he sounds like he's in his 15th year, doesn't he? I mean, it's hard to believe that, and I've talked to you about this, Dave, before. All he had to handle last year. I mean, it's quite an adjustment. And I think, maybe sometimes we kind of gloss over that. The adjustment that it is for players to jump from, college ball, obviously at an elite level at a big school like he did, to come into the NFL, but then to be thrown into the situation that he was last year, Dave, in having to be the signal caller on defense. Without really, much depth around him, at least not much experience depth around him to help him out. And he did a more than admirable job. So, and to your point too, Dave, I think, as somebody that is, allowed to watch them practice and can kind of see behind the curtain, if you will, every once in a while, there is so much nuance that goes into a particular snap on every play that's on Thursday nights or Sundays or Monday nights when you watch the game. There is so much detail that the average fan just is not privy to. And so I think Schwesinger just spoke about a little bit of that on any given play, there are about 9 different things that can happen. And you don't want to tip off the offense that what's coming. It's why these coordinators and these defensive coaches put so much into the game plan going into the week, because, you can go in there with plan A, but then you're going to have to maybe sometimes make adjustments and counter whatever the offense is doing, and big plays and injuries and all those other variables that pop up in a given game. So I was incredibly impressed with Schwesinger last year, and I'm glad he was rewarded for the season that he did have, and I can only see bigger things coming for him in the future here.